Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to do a simple tutorial with Node.js on creating an Express server. So to get started, open up your terminal or command prompt on Windows, and if you have, for this you're going to have Node installed. So if you don't have that installed, you can go over to the Node website, download it and install it on your computer, and then you can follow along with this tutorial. So let's go ahead and we're going to do sudo npm install, and you can say Express. And then type in your password if you're on Mac. Windows it usually doesn't ask you. You could do it without sudo. So on Windows you could just type npm install express. And we can wait for it to install. Okay, so it shouldn't take too long. So it looks like my Node's out of date, but fix that later. So I have Express installed. So let's say create a new file. So you can create a new folder if you want for the project, and then create a new file, app.js. And then let's say let express equals require. So we're going to import the package that we just installed, require express. And this is the name of the package that we just installed. So then we're going to create an express app. So we'd say let app equals express. So you just instantiate the express variable that we just created. Then we can say app.get, and you could pass in whatever path or endpoint you want to go to in a handle. So in this case, I'll just do the default. And so say when you go to just the main website without any file or any other endpoint, you just go to /, and then we're going to pass in an anonymous function. So the request and then the response. And then we're just going to say response.end, and let's just say hello world. And then let's chain these together. So we're going to do .get, and let's say .listen on port 8080, and then function, just a callback function. Let's say console.log listening on port 8080. Let's say listening on local host. Okay, so we have this. So we have the Express app, and then we handle / default endpoint. Then we listen on port 8080, and then after the server's listening, we print out this to the console. So let's go over to our terminal. I'll clear this, and then I'm just gonna go to folder, and then so in terminal you want to go to that folder. So you could type cd space and then drag that folder onto the terminal and hit enter, and it'll take you right to the folder. And then just type node and then the name of the file. So you could type A if you only have one file with an A, and then hit tab and hit enter. You can see it says listening on localhost 8080, so that's the callback function here. So let's go back to our browser, go to localhost 8080, and you can see it prints out hello world. If you go to any other extension, it's going to say cannot get / whatever you type in, because we didn't set that up yet. So let's go over here and add another one. Let's say .get / say hello. And we add the request response. And this one's going to be a little bit different. So we can get so we're going to go to the endpoint, say hello, and we're going to pass in a parameter. And that parameter is going to be someone's name in this case. So we're going to say response.end hello, and then concatenate on request.query.name. So we could do a little if statement to check conditional. So if not request.query.name, return console.error. Let's actually print out the error. Response.end no name found. So if there's no name parameter in the query string, then we're going to print out no name found. Otherwise, we're going to say hello with that name. So let's go back to Node in the terminal, and rerun the Node app.js. Come back to your browser, refresh, and you can go to the endpoint that we just created. We'll say hello, add the parameter name equals whatever name you want to put in. So we could say Jake, and we change this to anything, say YouTube. It'll change based on whatever's in the query string. So you can use this for a lot of things. For example, if you're working with a database, you can pass in like an ID, like 1, and then you could, using that, you could pass that into your SQL statement to get data from the database, and then return like JSON or something for the front end of your application. So let's do one other simple example. Do a .get, say /data, and we're going to do response.json. And let's say we're going to just return some data in JSON format with the content type of JSON. So name Jake, let's say message hello world. So you could put any JavaScript object here. So you can either just put it in line with the response, or you can have a separate object, JSON data, and you pass that in. Or you could get data from a database in like an object array and pass that in here. So you could do basically whatever you want to return the data. You could return a single object or an array. So let's try running this. So we're going to go to /data. So exit your Node application by hitting Control-C, and then rerun it with Node and then the file name. When it's listening, you can go to your browser, refresh, and let's go to the endpoint /data. You can see it passes in, it returns the data in the JSON object. So if we look at the network and refresh, and look at the single item here, let's look at the response. So yeah, you can see it automatically sets the content type to application./JSON. So if you do response.json and pass in something, it will end this execution. So anything afterwards shouldn't run, and then same thing with response.end. That should be the last line in your endpoint handler here. So that's just a simple tutorial of how to set up a basic Express web server. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.